Ali Imran 3180 doesn't lie in Talba 934 and 35 Al-Humazai Mark 1025 Zephaniah 118 and the first 6 of James 5 Ali Imran 3180 doesn't lie in Talba 934 and 35 Al-Humazai Mark 1025 Zephaniah 118 and the first 6 of James 5 They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the wealth they're demanding. Believing money justifies everything they do, dealing in blood money. If you have a price you'll lose. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the power they're commanding. Using religion, greed and fear to control the masses, buying spots in hell with their actions. Let's talk about old money, society's wealthiest. Not that 400,000 a year top 1%, I mean the ultra rich, like the Chables, Arab kings and Emirates, heads of sovereign funds, investment banks and merchants of defense. Europe's royal families, business moguls, heirs of private fortunes, Russian oligarchs, the FCI 500 plus the Rothschilds, the clan that controls central banks all over the globe, worth a combined $1 to $500 trillion. Or Carlos Slim is worth 6% of his country's domestic product, with a $4.7 billion salary of John Paulson, with an average work schedule that's $2.4 million an hour, meaning every 10 minutes he made Obama's yearly salary. These are just a few, but the points that get you to understand the people who run the world share that power among their friends and clans. Companies are simply tools they use to legally cover their actions, spread the risk and evade taxes while exploiting the working classes. They push for globalization so that massive corporations can invade the territory of wealthy rivals. And if trade deals don't work, they call for sanctions, assassinations or invasions. They have it all but still want more. The world is just their plaything. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the wealth they're demanding. Believing money justifies everything they do, dealing in blood money. If you have a price you'll lose. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the power they're commanding. Using religion, greed and fear to control the masses, buying spots in hell with their actions. One way they accumulate their fortunes is by draining their clientele, by convincing people to give up their past, present and future wealth. When they take your past wealth, those are assets you've accumulated, getting you to trade in your car, sell your land and spend your savings. When they take your present wealth, that's your work and earning potential, getting you to spend your time, labor, ideas and skills to help them. And they take your future wealth through debt and recurring payments, getting you to commit to contracts to give them money later. And they do the same with governments, getting them to hand over surpluses and give them long-term contracts while selling them public resources, fueling a spending frenzy, milking the system for all they can. And the stock markets reflect the success of the companies in this plan. Talking heads and many celebrities are the salesmen for the system, getting paid to promote consumerism, which helps their own investments. And once our rulers have leashed everything they can, they stop and short the system and hide the profits, pop the bubble then crash the markets. And since they're simply too big to fail, the surrogates bail them out, forcing the workers to pay for these bailouts through austerity. And when we're down, the companies buy even more assets to discount recession prices. And they do this all over the world, convincing our kids to continue the cycle. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the wealth they're demanding. Believing money justifies everything they do, dealing in blood money. If you have a price you'll lose. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the power they're commanding. Using religion, greed and fear to control the masses, buying spots in hell with their actions. Ever wonder why your city, state or country is so deep in debt? Here's a hint, look directly at the leaders you elect. To enrich their friends and donors, they create a budget deficit, selling government bonds with large interest rates, investors' preference, and they spend that borrowed money on deals and subsidies for the few, adding tax cuts for their wealthy, which reduces revenue. But when that debt gets out of control, instead of taxing those with money, they raise money, gutting social programs and budgets. So they privatize schools, roads, and services to the public, firing teachers and firefighters, cutting pensions, union busting, all to pay off the debts they created. The masters Masters in the art of wealth transfers from the public to the bankers, fighting laws to let Wall Street firms join in the fun, making your employers hand over your retirement funds. Then they gamble with your savings while they're pocketing the profits. If their products turn toxic, you're the ones taking the losses. Opportunities born from disasters, they call it creative destruction. Like collapsing a country or an economy, then profiting from it. As the public begs for justice, leaders refuse to do a thing. Why on earth will they prosecute them when they're in on the scheme? Just look at their personal investments and who they're friends with. They're not gonna raise their own taxes or put their family and friends out of business. Can't really call it class warfare, cause that implies a struggle. It's a class massacre when the rich have won, like Warren Buffett said. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the wealth they're demanding. Believing money justifies everything they do, dealing in blood money. If you have a price, you'll lose. They worship at the altars of Lucifer and Mammon, sacrificing the masses for the power they're commanding. Using religion, greed, and fear to control the masses, buying spots in hell with their actions. Come beat over crumbs and die off if you can't keep up. That's their rule for the public. Come beat over crumbs and die off if you can't keep up. That's their rule for the public. Come beat over crumbs and die off if you can't keep up. That's their rule for the public. Come beat over crumbs and die off if you can't